Welcome back to Real Estate Simplified. Shireen, before the break, we were talking about buyers entering the market and their risk tolerance. Is now actually a good time for a buyer to make their first purchase?
100%. There's less competition because of the fear. Interest rates are extremely low. CIBC, TD are at a 2.45 variable rate, and Equitable Bank is at 2.30. So it's almost free money. And they can qualify for a higher loan amount, less applications, more. I think their applications can be processed a little bit faster if you're going to the right lender. They have, as I said, less competition. Sellers that have their properties on the market are serious sellers, and there's a little wiggle room there, so they can negotiate a little bit better price as well.
Yeah. Okay, Kiran, what's your take? Is now a great time to dive into real estate?
I would say so. If you have the means to do it, if you have job security, if you know that you can confidently make a purchase, I would say it absolutely is. Where there is an opportunity throughout this year. And the funny thing is a lot of people are on the sidelines waiting for things to kind of start becoming hopeful again. Like somebody's going to jump on TV and say, hey, we've got a plan for bouncing back. But what they have to remember is a lot of people are then going to bounce back at the same time. So if you have the means to purchase, if you have job security, if you want to purchase, like Shireen said, I completely agree. Now is the time, because as soon as hope starts to come back, a lot of people are also going to start jumping back into the market. So, that's something we have to bear in mind.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because the media always lags behind. So the bottom of the market happens, and then the media starts reporting the good news like months after that. So I remember in 2017, Shireen and Kiran, you probably saw this too. Everybody held back, was afraid to jump in, and then they missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure. And what Kiran was talking about, job security, that's another reason if you do have a job and have had it for a long time and you haven't been laid off, now is the time to buy because you'll be qualified with your current income. Down the road, if there are more layoffs, then you won't qualify. Your income might be reduced by 20 or 25%. So this is a really good time if you still are working and have had a job for quite some time.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we've seen in the US just the other day, Chase Bank changed their down payment and credit score requirements for residential purchases. So you want to get in and get something done in case some changes happen here. Kiran, do you think the coronavirus impact on how real estate has sold will give us some everlasting changes to how real estate is done?
I do believe so. Now, and again, it's very difficult to, and I don't like making predictions because we've never collectively been through anything like this. So what the impacts of this are going to be like it remains to be seen, but there is definitely going to be an impact, I feel like, if I look at it from an industry perspective, there are a lot of agents that are going to be weeded out throughout this process and that are not going to come out on the other end because they failed to lead during these uncertain times. They failed to lead their clients, their consumers, their leads the way that they should through this time. A lot of agents are not educating themselves enough, which again, I feel is going to be a reason why they're going to not come back to the same business as they did, when things were great, because that's when everything is easy. I think this shift right now is forcing everybody to adapt their business towards technology, and those who resist this change are also going to be left behind. And I think this change is here to last. Like I tell agents every day, I'm like, if your business relies on prospecting methods such as door knocking and face-to-face prospecting methods, or even open houses, a lot of that I feel is going to take a long time before people are comfortable walking or letting people that are strangers into their house or opening their doors to people that they don't know. So I feel like that's going to be a change that's going to last. So those who don't adapt their businesses towards an online model and really understanding how to still continue doing business through the technology that we have are going to feel the impact. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what does an agent have to do today to make sure they last and stick around until things get better again?
A number of things I feel they need to, number one, like I said, adapt. and learn. Now is a really good time for them to actually learn the skills that they've always been putting off, to build the systems in their business that they've always said they don't have time to build, but they want to build. Now is a time for them to also get past and overcome their fear of putting themselves online on social media and start communicating with their audiences. I don't feel agents right now should just sit quietly on the sidelines and post content about this is what I'm eating and this is the only thing I'm, and that's all great content, but now more than ever, agents need to educate themselves and provide context to their audiences, not just content, but context to their audiences about what all of this means. People are overwhelmed, people are confused, people don't know what's going on, and there is an abundance of news that's going on and that they don't know how to make sense of. So contrary to what a lot of agents might believe, it's not insensitive to speak about real estate. It's not insensitive to showcase properties. It's on the contrary, people actually want to hear that stuff. So be that voice, be that leader, calm people down. And, right now, I think that's the biggest role that an agent has to play is to lead people through this crisis.
Yeah. Shireen, do you have anything to add to that? You've been around.
Thank you. Normalcy will return. What that will look like, people will be a little bit more wary, a little bit smarter, a little bit more dusted off. We've had time to clean our closets, our cars, our home offices, and our minds. And I think a lot of people are going within and they're learning new skills. They are better human beings. They're listening to themselves. They're exercising. They're eating better. And I think it's a good thing. At the end of the day, nothing good lasts forever. Nothing bad lasts forever. And real estate is something, it's a contact sport. We need our appraisers, our home inspectors, our lawyers, everybody, our family input, and that will come back to being normal shortly. Is it 30 days? Is it 60 days? Who knows? But, people want to see and feel and touch real estate. And I think that will come back eventually.
Yeah. No, that's a really great point. Well, Shireen, Kiran, thanks for joining us today. Hope you enjoy the rest of your quarantine.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Kiran.
And thank you for joining us today. Be sure to visit realestatesimplified.tv for up-to-date real estate tips and advice. I'm Seth Ferguson. See you next time on Real Estate Simplified.